Hi folks, welcome to this edition of the Handy Randy Show. Jack Morris, a dear friend of mine, passed away last year, and Jack collected old motorcycles of all sorts and sizes. He had a 1915 Harley Davidson, which was just a unique, pristine motorcycle. And Jack and I got to talking, and he clued me in a little bit of the history of the motorcycle, particularly in Akron. As a matter of fact, Jack published a book which is at the Akron Public Library. For anyone at all that is interested in the history of the motorcycle in Akron can go down. You can't take the book out, but you can sure read it. Jack was telling me about the Indian motorcycle and the dealership that was in downtown Akron, the Harley Davidson dealership that was also located in downtown Akron. And he told me about a story about this thing called board track racing. And I didn't know what a board track was. I had never heard of the term. And basically what board track racing was is the Europeans had bicycle tracks that were indoors. And we still use those today in the Olympics, where they have high-banked tracks that the bicycles can go to extraordinary speeds. Well, they took that idea, brought that to America, and built wooden tracks only, very large, half-mile tracks, three-quarter-mile tracks, even one track that was 2 miles long, all built out of 2x4s on the end. Now, that wasn't laid out like that, on the end. So can you imagine how many trees had to be chopped up and sacrificed to build a board track? Incredible. This took place from about 1910 to about 1930. Akron had its own board track. It was located in Northampton off of Route 8, somewhere close to where the Ascot racetrack was located, no longer there. Board track racing was the deadliest sport ever introduced into the United States. More so than hunting, more so than modern racing, the most deadly sport ever. Here's why it was deadly. These ancient motorcycles, now over 100 years old, would exceed 100 miles an hour on these board tracks. Again, 45-degree banks. The spectators sat on the outermost part of the track, and they were protected by a 2x4 railing. What would happen if the motorcycle lost control? What would happen if somebody bumped into the motorcycle? What would happen if the tire would explode? The machine and driver would go into the stands. In Cincinnati, an accident occurred that a motorcycle crashed into a utility pole. The electric wire caught the gasoline on fire, and there were 8 fatalities at that track outside of Cincinnati. In New Jersey, a similar accident occurred, and one of the stars of board track racing was killed. 4 fatalities in that accident. They changed the name, the newspapers changed the name from Motordroms to Murderdroms because of this. What I would like you to do now is to take a look at some of the machines, some of the stars, and some of the tracks that were scattered throughout the United States. We'll put a little bit of music on it and enjoy some of these ancient photographs, board track racing.
When I was sinning, just like you. 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 So messed up and self-deceiving. I know you're hurting. I can make you well. 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 Give my soul, a stony virgin, give me soul. Well, she don't need no composition, knows what you're thinking. It's time to go, 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 go. So bad it's hurting, you need to call. So bad it's hurting, you need to call. A special number on your screen. What happened to? I do not know. I do not know. I do not know. I do not know. No, 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 no. consolation. Consolation. Don't need no money for this machine. Don't need no money to be free. Just call the number on your screen. The flesh is willing, but it's not real. 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 But it's not real.
Hey, welcome back. We're talking about board track racing. Not only was board track racing just for motorcycles, they also took automobiles and put them on these tracks as well. These tracks were half a mile, sometimes 2 miles long of 2x4 laid on end. The problem with board tracks is they had a very short life because the wood deteriorated, especially if you're located in places like Akron, Ohio. Our board track debuted Labor Day 1926, the one that was located in Northampton. The last race that was held at our board track was in September of 1930. So a short life, 4 years, and the last race only lasted 81 laps because of the track condition. Unlike asphalt and concrete, every 3 years the tracks would have to be rebuilt. They were inexpensive to build. As I mentioned before, had to sacrifice a lot of wood, but the storied history of board track racing, and if you noticed in the photographs and in the videos, you can see these tracks were huge. They were very wide, very long, and all on wood. Speaking of board tracks, the reason most of us have never heard of this is the sport was very short-lived. The first board track was built outside of Los Angeles in approximately 1912 and 1915. The last board tracks were torn down at the beginning of the Depression. Why were they torn down? Well, obviously the Depression took a lot of money away from the sport. And because of the Depression, people took the wood to heat their homes, stole the wood from the racetracks. So the demise of the sport was A, dangerous, became too expensive, and then the Depression, we needed the wood to heat ourselves. So now you know the rest of the story when it comes to board track racing.